Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L, and today let's just very quickly talk about a little trick that I think the Hero Academia author used in the manga and really in the recent episode 5 of season 3 of Hero Academia. This one is revolving around the injury that Shoji sustained. So Shoji's lost an arm. We've seen it in the Hero Academia episode, and when you look at it, there's a few really cool distinctions that are going into Shoji in particular. When I look at Shoji and when I look at what happened to him, I see that as a situation that's only happening because it is Shoji. What I mean by that is, Hero Academia, they have a lot of injuries. The people get tons of injuries. Izuku, even in the episode right before it was confirmed that it was Shoji that lost his arm, he got beat up by Muscular. Even before that in the Stain arc, Izuku and Ida both got really manhandled by Stain, and Ida got a permanent injury in his arm. And then now you come into this arc and you have Shoji losing one of his arms, or one of his replicant arms. But the interesting thing with Shoji is that compared to all the other guys who've gotten injuries, Shoji's is probably the most inconsequential, even though it is a very traumatic injury. When the viewer or reader sees that kind of imagery and you see this monster in front of you, you realize, okay, this is a significant threat. And I do think there is an association with terror when people see dismembered arms. Like when you see someone lose an arm, usually in anime and manga, things got really serious. Like that is a injury that it's really easy to quantify in your head. With Hero Academia and Shoji, what the author ultimately had was a character who he can afford to dismember, because his dismemberment will give you the shock value, but it won't give you the lasting repercussions, because Shoji in particular is one of those characters that can just regrow the arm. So that's why it's interesting that compared to everyone else who has all these horrible injuries, all these long-lasting injuries, these injuries that mean a lot, we have a very grotesque injury, or a much more striking injury, and it's ultimately not kind of amounting to anything, because aside from the momentary pain, Shoji can just grow back the arm. Now, the Hero Academia author, I think, is very good at cliffhangers. I think he understands the weekly nature of his manga. I think he understands how things work week by week. You want to drum up suspense. You want to get people hooked. And really, when I see Shoji, he is the ultimate tool for that, because you can hurt Shoji and have things go wrong with him without it really affecting the overall story, or without it really affecting the character. Shoji right now really reminds me a lot of Piccolo from Dragon Ball, because in Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, people don't really tend to lose their arms unless you're Piccolo. Piccolo loses his arms a lot more often than people like to think, and it's really because Piccolo as a character and now Shoji as a character, they're designed to be able to take those kind of hits. So when you have the opportunity to create a really impactful injury, these characters are there. Anyway, that's my quick bit. Shoji lost an arm. I think the purpose of losing the arm at the time it happened was largely to drum up interest and create a bit of a cliffhanger, create a bit of a suspense. But once it got revealed that Shoji was the one who lost an arm, it ultimately just kind of fades away, because aside from the fact that he lost an arm that he could probably replicate again, there aren't any long-lasting injuries for Shoji. There's not really much else going on. And funnily enough, going back in the archives to see how people were reacting to the chapter when it originally came out, I believe it was chapter, let me see, it was probably around 75, 76, somewhere around there. People weren't reacting to the dismembered arm, or like some people weren't. There was a bigger focus on Izuku and Muscular, because that's when their fight was beginning. So it's interesting that even with that little detail thrown in, some people didn't really gravitate towards it. But that's some of the history when it came to the manga. Anyways, what do you guys think? What did you guys think when you found that dismembered arm? And what happened when you found out it was Shoji? Because Shoji, his quirk being able to replicate arms, it kind of takes away. How would you have felt if it was actually Tokoyami? Let me know down below. And yeah, that's my quick bit. Till next time, hope you have a great day.